walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. This is Mr. Romney Wordsworth in his last 48 hours on Earth. He's a citizen of the state, but will soon have to be eliminated because he is built out of flesh and because he has a mind.
You've been under investigation, Mr. Wordsworth, for the mandatory period of 1 year and 11 months. You're found to be obsolete. The purpose of this hearing is to make a finding in the matter and make a sentence accordingly. Do you understand that, Mr. Wordsworth? Your occupation, Mr. Wordsworth?
A librarian.
A librarian. Having to do with books.
Yes, sir. Books.
Since there are no more books, Mr. Wordsworth, there are no more libraries. The field investigators in your sector have classified you as obsolete. Your rights are as follows, Mr. Wordsworth. You are to be liquidated within a period of 48 hours. You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function, Mr. Wordsworth. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug, Mr. Wordsworth, a crawling insect, an ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions that you inject into your veins with printer's ink. The narcotics that you call literature, poetry, essays, all kind, all of it an opiate. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream, and the state has no use for your kind.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
The Chancellor, the late Chancellor, was only partly correct. He was obsolete. But so is the state, the entity he worshipped. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete.
Welcome, Bitcoin friends. It's Bitcoin Memo. Today we're going to look at the Bitcoin charts, do some TA, look at various time frames, and also take a look at Market Cipher. So I want to start here on the 2-week chart. We can see Bitcoin has been in this parallel channel here. We also have this trend line connecting the overall lows here. And this is a key trend line to reclaim here to give me some confidence that we're going to try to push higher. We have spent several weeks below this trend line, and just switching to the line chart here, you can see this W pattern forming on the 2-week chart. And if we are able to close above the midline of this W, which is at $42,073, when we do close this 2-week candle at the end of the week, and that will confirm this W pattern, and it does have a measured move. We take it from the lowest point to the midline and move it to the top of that midline area, and we can see it does have a measured move to around 46,400. We also see that W present here on the RSI, and these can be quite a reliable pattern when we do have these W patterns on the price action and the RSI. We also see the stochastic RSI could possibly start ticking up here. We need it to get above that 20 line where that white dotted line is. If we do look back at the previous bear market, This was the 2017 top, and then we were in a bear market for a year here. What we do see is the stochastic RSI on the 2-week never got above this 20 level. We only went as high as a 17 reading. So if we are able to get back above this 20 level, then that would give us some extra confidence that perhaps we're not in this bear market. If we do look back at the bear market after the 2013 bull run here, we do see we went a little bit higher on the stochastic RSI. We got up to a 27 reading. But to give us a bit more confidence, perhaps we can mark a zone here between 20 and 27. Just to show that all in one here, we can see we didn't get above it here in 2014 and in the 2018 bear market here. Doing a fib retracement here, we can still see we are below this golden pocket area. We have been getting support on the 786 level. We do also have some order blocks here from this red candle in an uptrend. These are areas of supply and demand. They become of interest later on when we interact with those levels, and they can act as support or resistance. That measured move would take us into this order block. We also have a smaller order block here from this green candle. And we would also need to flip this order block, getting above it, possibly coming back down to retest it and using it as support, like we'll need to see on this trend line and that golden pocket area we spoke about. Looking at the VPVR, the amount of volume traded at certain price levels, we do see that biggest spike here at around 38,000. We see the next biggest spike here at around 47,000. And that's also in line with both of these order blocks and the measured move of this W pattern. So there will be a resistance at this level if we do get up to this level. And going down to the weekly time frame now, I've just kept those 2-week order blocks here in blue. The other thing that we've been watching is this weekly EMA ribbon. This is just a collection of moving averages. If we are able to get above this ribbon with a whole candle, including the wicks, then that would give me confidence that we're possibly going to push higher here. We do need to make a move soon here. We can see this weekly EMA ribbon is starting to flip. We see the yellow moving average at the top has started coming down into the other moving averages. And on every other bear market, once this yellow line gets below the red line, it's been a very good confirmation that we are in a bear market and we are going lower. And we saw that in the 2018 bear market here. We see it started to come into the other moving averages. Once it did cross below, we did have that one more big drop. And the same with the 2014 bear market here. The ribbon started to flip here. Once it did cross below, we had one more wick into it. But we did keep going down. Currently, the top of the ribbon is at 45,000 and the bottom of this ribbon is at 42.7. Looking at the weekly stochastic RSI here, we can see it has gotten above that 20 level. We do still have to wait for this weekly candle to close, but it does look like it's going to close above the 20 level, which gives us confidence that we are going to keep pushing higher here. And perhaps this is going to lead on to that 2-week stochastic RSI, which may start pushing above the 20 level also. A key level we'll be watching on the weekly RSI here is this zone from this blue box between the 50 and 56 level. And we'll need to get above this level to give more confidence that we are pushing higher. We can see on this previous recovery, once we did get above that 50 level, we came back and tested it, used it as support, and then we did push a lot higher. And we also see that here in the early stages of the bull market. And also during the 2016-2017 bull run here, we used that area as support all the way along. And once we entered this bear market here, it acted as resistance on all these attempts higher. And looking at some weekly order blocks now, we have this green candle in a downtrend. And this order block has been acting as resistance on all of these attempts higher. We can see we are currently testing this order block again. And again, we have to look for the weekly closes. If we can close above the top of this order block around 43,100, would give confidence that we are going to push higher. And we do see another order block here from this green candle in a downtrend. It's pretty much in line with these 2-week order blocks in blue. between 46.1k and 47.2k. And pulling up a fib retracement now from the previous high here down to the low. We do see that golden pocket area, which has also been acting as resistance on these attempts higher. And looking at the overall retracement here, we see that 382 level is also around this area of all these order blocks and just above that golden pocket. So there are a lot of levels here to reclaim: that golden pocket, these order blocks, that weekly EMA ribbon, and also that possible resistance on the VPVR. And down to the daily time frame now. I've just kept the weekly order blocks here, gotten rid of those 2-week ones. So I am seeing another possible channel being formed here. Obviously we have this larger parallel channel, but just zooming in on this consolidation down here, we can see if we do connect the overall highs here and bring that down, do see that we are possibly in this yellow parallel channel here with several touches on both sides and looking for that third touch. Currently the top of this channel is at around 46,860 and also in line with the weekly order block in yellow here. Looking at the daily EMA ribbon now, we saw it acted as resistance all the way down here. We have gotten above it a couple of times here, but have broken back down again. And to give confidence that this ribbon will start acting as support, we need it to flip the yellow lower moving average, getting above the higher red moving average. We can see we did attempt to do that several times, but the yellow line never went back above the red. And when we do see that happen, like the previous bounce here from that 30k low, gives us confidence that on the pullbacks it will act as support and push us higher. We need to get above this ribbon and stay there long enough so that it does flip. And that would give me confidence to enter a long on a pullback, touching the top of the ribbon when the yellow line is above the red line. Looking at the stochastic RSI, we have been ticking up here at around a 40 reading. The RSI is pretty much in the middle of the range. We have been making higher lows here along with the price action. And we do see an interesting pattern on the RSI here. We do see a triangle pattern which converges at the end of March with several touches on both of these trend lines. And this could possibly give us a future direction on a daily time scale as to what's going to happen with Bitcoin. Normally I do like the trend lines on the RSI to line up with the price action. If we were to make a triangle connecting the bodies of the candles, which the RSI uses, we would see that the triangle wouldn't line up with the same end date here. But do think because we have had several touches here, 3 on the bottom and pretty much 3 on the top, this is a valid pattern and could possibly give us an early indication. If we were to break to the upside on this triangle, perhaps it will give us an early indication that we might have higher prices to come on Bitcoin. Looking at some daily order blocks now, there are quite a few here. I've just taken the ones from the more immediate price action and some from further back that I think are important. We can see one here in quite a strong uptrend, and we got this red candle, and also quite a strong downtrend. We got this green candle. So I do think these will be significant order blocks, and we can see this larger one here has been significant on all these attempts higher, acted as resistance here, 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 and here. And we never closed the body of a daily candle above this order block. And even these more immediate order blocks here have been significant. Have seen it act as support here on the push down. And also this higher up order block acted as support on this push down. Currently we are reacting with this order block from this green candle, but the main order block is obviously this one that has been significant between 43,900 and 44,600. Down to the 4-hour time frame now. Just want to point out some bullish divergence that we did have at the lows here. Just looking at this area, we did make successive lower lows here. And when looking at the RSI, we can see that we did make higher highs on the RSI. So this was a triple bullish divergence here. and this did lead to this bounce and price recovery. And one last thing here on the daily time frame, looking at the more immediate price action, doing a fib retracement from this high to this low. We do see that golden pocket area is where we are currently, between 42,200 and 42,500. And just zooming down to the 4-hour time frame, we can see we are getting a little bit of resistance here with this current 4-hour candle. And over to market cipher, this is on the 4-hour time frame. Do see this blue wave has gotten quite high here, so we might be due for a small correction here. We are looking for this red money flow wave to cross back into the green. We did briefly on this occasion, but we weren't able to push through. The 6-hour is quite similar. It does look like it has a bit more to go on the blue wave here, and that money flow is also trying to cross back into the green. The 12-hour time frame did get this green dot, and it did get confirmed, and we have been pushing higher after that green dot. And the daily time frame also has a green dot. We will have to wait for the daily close for that to be confirmed, but that is looking quite good here. We are making higher lows with these blue waves, and the red money flow is looking to cross back to the upside. There are some bullish signs here, and we haven't been in the green money flow since the start of December here. We see during the last consolidation here, once we did flip into the green money flow, we did end up going a lot higher. The 2-day time frame does tell a bit of a different picture here. We did get this blood diamond, and we did drop down during this candle. This candle looks pretty neutral at the moment. We will also close this 2-day candle at the daily close. And previous blood diamonds have resulted in a few red candles and a drop back down. And again, these aren't 100%. We do see a drop down on this one. However, this one wasn't a significant drop. We just went sideways here. We just went sideways on this one, but the second one did result in a big drop. Just a possible warning signal. And the money flow looks a lot worse than the daily money flow here. We see this red wave still going lower. So a bit of confusing signals here, and we haven't been that low in the money flows since all the way back in December of 2019. The 3-day time frame has been a bit unreliable with these green and red dots. So I think the higher term time frames are going to be the most reliable here. And looking at the weekly time frame, we can see we got a green dot, but then we got a red and a green dot. So possibly have to look at the 2-week time frame, and that could give us more confidence on a green dot. We do see that money flow is very close to entering into the red zone, and we pretty much only do that during bear markets. We see in 2018, 2019 here, and also during the 2014, 2015 bear market. And looking at the 2-week time frame, we do see we've been coming down here after getting that red dot. So we are looking for a green dot here on the 2-week time frame, and perhaps that one will be more reliable than those weekly green dots. We do open that new 2-week candle at the start of next week, so we could see a green dot appear there and possibly take another 2 weeks to confirm it. The last green dot was quite reliable here before we got this big move to the upside. And just looking back in the past, this green dot here was quite reliable, and this green dot did result in a pump, but then we did have that stock market crash that affected the Bitcoin price. This green dot also indicated the bottom of the bear market, but we can see during that bear market here, this green dot didn't result in a pump, and we got a red dot following. We went lower down, and also during the 2014-2015 bear market, the green dot also wasn't reliable with a red dot following it. But these major green dots here, where this blue wave crosses this white line, have generally indicated the bottom of the bear market. So I think that's about all. We do still have another 3 days before that weekly and 2-week close, and we'll have to see how the rest of the week plays out here. Obviously on the weekly time frame, be watching this order block here from this green candle, which has acted as resistance several times. And we saw last week we did get that big pushback down before the weekly candle closed. And we'll also be watching for that 2-week close at the end of the week to see if we can complete this W pattern that we looked at. And we would need to close above the previous candle here at around 42,080 and play out its possible measured move to 46,400. And of course, Bitcoin will also be reliant on what the stock market does. Has been dropping quite a lot lately as silver and gold has been going up. So it is quite unpredictable. We'll have to see how it plays out day by day as these external factors influence the stock market and the Bitcoin price. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that analysis on Bitcoin Memo. I'll see you next time. Bye.